Proxies. Archer. Here. Cantz. Here. Dumont.
Present.
Else.
Here.
Espinay. Espinay. Fernandez.
Here.
Hewitt.
Here.
Jurens.
Here.
Call.
Here.
Kessinger. Here. Lander. Here. Lewis.
Here.
McCallum.
Here.
Paulson. Here. Quigley.
Here.
Russ.
Here.
Van Ruler.
Here.
Whip. 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 Okay, so the agenda, the Teams Drive, slight update to it, adding some stuff about the Wellness Center, volunteers at the Wellness Center. Any objections to the agenda? Okay, see none, pass unanimous. Reading the agenda, pass unanimous consent. Y'all get the minutes, sent out last couple emails. What are you guys thinking of the minutes? Any changes you guys would like to see? Any major errors? Nothing? Okay. Passing unanimous consent. Moving on to unfinished business. Resolution 22F001, SPS supplemental.
Martians Lake Resolution number 22F001, presented on 7 September 2022, originated by the Finance Committee, presented by myself. So I went over this last time. It's about the Physics Congress asking for supplemental of $5,000 to attend some conferences.
Any comments on the resolution? Can I entertain a motion?
Motion to
Senator
vote.
Ellis?
Second.
Second by Senator Rust. Archer. Aye. Cantz.
Aye.
Dumont.
Aye.
Else.
Aye.
Espinay. Fernandez.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye.
Jurens.
Aye.
Call.
Aye.
Kessinger. Aye. Leonard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
McCallum.
Aye.
Paulson. Aye. Quigley.
Aye.
Russ.
Sorry. Aye.
Van Ruler.
Aye.
Whip. Passes. Moving on to new business. I'll actually hand it over to Dr. Joe on this.
Thank you, President Marshall. So in the King Center, the Wellness Center, you guys probably know that's all funded through student activity dollars. So I guess a few Senates ago, maybe Director Headley knows exactly when, it was approved for employees to be able to use that. So with their ID, they can use, you may even see some of your faculty and some of the staff who are using the workout facility there. We have been allowing volunteers to also have access to that if they request it. So people like your veteran Senator Mike Now is a volunteer. His office is down there with Trio Upward Bound. Our campus ministry staff, they're all volunteers. They don't get paid through the state of South Dakota. I had a question today come through with one of the, they do a volunteer form and then I approve it. I had a question come through, so I just wanted to make sure with this group that was still comfortable for you guys, if you had any concerns or questions with specifically volunteers. Because I can easily say no on the form if this group doesn't want them to have access. I think it's our younger campus ministry staff who utilize that. They'll go up and chat with students, invited of course, they're not like going up there and trying to distract you while you're working out. But any comments or?
Senator Hewitt.
Personally, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as they're not really causing any problems or anything like that.
Okay. And I don't really, my days are so busy, I don't go up there. Is it easy to get to a machine? Is there too many people? Do we need to restrict access or?
Comments? Senator Dumont.
So like the first 2 weeks of school, it gets pretty busy, but then people stop going or they find a new gym in like town or something.
Sure.
But the first few weeks, the hours were pretty restricted, but after that, it gets a lot better, so it should be fine.
Until New Year's, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's New Year's resolution. Okay, that's
Any
good.
other comments on that? I guess what would you like to see from us, Steve and Joe? Would you like to see like a formal resolution or just kind of a,
No, unless you
No
wanted,
objections.
unless you wanted to change it, if you said, there's too many students this year, we don't want employees there, we don't want volunteers. I value our volunteers, they're giving, especially in campus ministries, and like I said with Mike now, and veterans, they're giving their time when, without getting any payment from your tuition and fees, they're here to serve you, so, if that helps them, I'd like to see it continue, as long as that's okay with you, it sounds like people are feeling good about it. So I don't think we need anything formal, I just
Okay.
wanted to bring it up before I pass it along.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments on that? All right, moving on to open discussion. Senator Good?
I've been, listening to a couple people about parking and how they feel like they need to expand some parking somehow. And that's mostly it.
Okay. I guess do you have any other details on it? I guess like any specifics with that or?
More, what they were wanting was more overnight parking, especially with how many, new freshmen are here this year.
Okay. Senator Call?
Going off of the parking, I know that when they close the ramp for like the high school football games, it's kind of like a huge issue because there's like even like the lot, like where they keep like the trailers and stuff, there wasn't like a single parking spot in there. So like on those days, like it's almost impossible to find a place to park.
Senator Lewis?
I was just gonna mention that when people do bring it up, we're actually still plenty over capacity on empty parking spots when the football ramps are not shut down. And we're supposed to tell everyone to go to the football stadium then for overnight parking.
Senator Good?
But still going off the parking at the football stadium, I know there's been a couple break-ins over the semester, especially last year, we've had a lot of break-ins. So I feel like a lot of students wouldn't feel comfortable parking their cars over there, because it could get their cars broken into and have some of their valuables stolen from them.
So I actually make a quick comment on this. So parking is a big issue I wanted to tackle within this administration, something I've actually already been working on quite a bit. There's a few avenues I'm looking down right now for that. Either through, I guess I'm just trying to see like, would anyone be interested in hopping on a committee, ad hoc committee for specifically like improving parking? Because I know we have a parking committee that handles the appeals. Would anyone be interested in? Senator, let me just make this real quick. So that's some pretty good ideas. I've been talking with Geraldine quite a bit on that, as well as a little bit of Vice President Spindle. So, anyone else interested in hopping on that? Anyone else?
President Marshall. Is your intention with the committee to have them present a resolution or a proposal to like the university cabinet, something like that?
It'd be kind of operate up of campus, similar to campus safety and security this last year, where we're kind of coordinating with the various departments that kind of fall under that, and then coordinate with either administration or try to solve it internally within Senate if it's a monetary issue of trying to increase this. One thing I looked into was the campus parking plan, potentially bonding one of the proposed parking lots between Palmerton and Peterson with some reserve funding dollars that would allow a lot more centralized parking on campus, as well as actually taking like a clearer, a more serious look at a parking garage, because I've kind of felt that that's been kind of swept off a little bit with kind of the over capacity parking, because where a lot of our parking is ending up right now is on the fringes of campus, which for anyone that's lived in the dorms or seen the statistics from the crime statistics this last year for campus safety and security, that's where a lot of our break-ins happen. The Senator Boots weren't there. So yeah, I guess come with either a resolution or with or resolution or policy changes. Yeah. Senator Lewis?
For a question for possibly you guys, do we know why the parking lot across the way that's been open for daytime parking was not open for overnight parking this year?
I didn't mean that one over there.
Yes.
I don't know.
I
This is
don't
our
know
first
if
year,
someone needed the lot.
first year that it's actually been part of the parking.
Exactly, because
Lot
in
anyway,
years
so I don't
past,
know.
it's been ticketed if you're parked there whatsoever.
So it
Right, I
actually
didn't know
belongs
if you
to
had a formal
Kara.
answer.
It actually belongs to Kara, that whole lot over there.
It does.
So I think they, if I remember correctly, or I think they opened it up to help kind of resolve some of the issues we're having with just an influx. As to why it's not open in the evenings, I can actually maybe inquire about that.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we had a formal answer or not on why besides because we said so.
And use your voice, push on that.
And I think one way, if you're busy with whether it's Kara, and maybe it's facilities in general, the one that you would probably need to keep in mind on a situation by situation basis with that lot would be, if they happen to have a specific alumni event in this building, for example, right? The idea to keep staff over here is if we need to shut that lot down for them. So same thing, but I don't know that that happens very often through the year, but if it's open, why not?
Senator Fletcher?
I've heard talking about visitors that it feels like they've almost, again, the school has kind of restricted parking this year rather than open it up, despite having an influx of like probably the biggest class in a very long time. I think ever actually, and yeah. But anyways, besides that point, I've heard like a lot of complaints like how sure, there's a lot of open like daytime parking, but there's not. It just feels like they've almost restricted the amount of overnight parking. And I'll probably bring that up again in the parking committee, but I thought I'd just bring that issue to light here too.
Any other comments on, Senator Lewis?
President Marshall, you said in years past tenants have looked at a parking ramp, but it's been brushed away. Do you know what the extent was of those plans at any given point?
I do not on that. I know it gets brought up. It doesn't get really pursued down the path. I've heard it, I think, brought up at least once every year about a parking garage.
And not, yeah, what I would say, not to make an excuse, but they are expensive. And
It's a
that's
valid
that,
point.
that's probably what stopped it. You know, and from a university perspective, is the costs to do it. So I don't know that it's ever gradually got to a place of just gonna put money up to other things. I don't think it's ever gotten that far.
Senator?
The last I heard was a parking lot is like $35 a spot,
Yep.
and the lifetime of the parking lot is like 20 years. So, our cost would drop out significantly paying that off.
And on that note, like one thing that was kind of considered, talking a little bit with Vice President Spindle this last year, is bonded buildings. So of our gas fee, right, so $50 credit hour, about half of that goes to buildings that are bonded, right? So it's essentially a mortgage paid for by the student body. So Surbeck, update 1, Surbeck / Howard Peterson update, and then the King Center are all bonded. So eventually those bonds expire, so there might be some money available, I think 6, 7, 8 years to potentially, fees would go down, we would do a bond, say a parking surface or a parking structure, and without fee always going up, as well as talking a little bit with Vice President Spindle, parking fee or the parking fund would actually be able to help contribute to a bond of some sort in that regard. So those are just some options that kind of got brought up, but whether it's most cost effective is what I think really needs to be looked at here. I actually never took this 1 year. That's kind of frightening. Senator Leonard?
What are the current plans for the practice field? Have those shifted with the new location from what I've looked at? I know that one wasn't going to be put there this last year, but.
I guess I'm not aware of how the strategic plan shifted there. Because I know the parking plan was made, the last revision was like 2020. I can probably check on it.
Just because that's a large space that you can add a lot of parking infrastructure.
Senator Driggs?
I don't think that would happen until like a lot of other things happen because we use that every day. part of, like, all of the athletic teams use it, so.
And if I'm understanding correct, there's nowhere that we can even be, nowhere good it can be moved considering the, or was it proposed to be moved up to Divide, correct, or is that incorrect?
I think that the plans are like confidential. So,
Fair enough.
I was shown them last year, but I don't think I can
Okay,
talk about
fair
them.
enough. I can double check with strategic parking plan, because I think I remember seeing something on there for that. For anyone that's interested, that is available over at, the facilities building, talking to Drew on that. Yeah. Any other comments? All right, see none, any other, anything else for open discussion? All right, moving on to international report. Okay. Veteran report. Okay. Graduate report.
Nothing.
Okay. Non-trad report.
Yeah, so as like a non-trad, when I was like applying to schools, I think Mines has a huge advantage in the fact that they don't require you to live on campus your first year. And a lot of the surrounding colleges and universities all have requirements to live on campus. And even on our Mines page for non-traditional students, we don't have anything that says about housing. And I'm thinking about reaching out to marketing to like add something to the non-trad page about like you don't have to live on campus. 'Cause I think that will turn away some non-trads just because the idea of living in a dorm is just a little off-putting as you get older. So, but like even I looked at some of the surrounding, like some of the schools in the state, like the University of South Dakota requires you to live on campus for 2 years. South Dakota State University requires 2 years. Dakota State University requires 2 years, and Colorado School of Mines requires you for your first year. And they have like some exemptions, but none of them are like age related. So
So the 2 years is actually like 2 years out of high school, or if I'm not mistaken on that.
for Mines, yeah.
Yeah.
But the other schools don't have.
Oh, they don't have that?
No, their 2 year requirement is they require you to live on campus for 2 years.
Oh, okay, so it's, okay. So they don't-
Yeah, and the only exemptions they have are usually either marriage or some sort of like health disability. But they don't have like, I think I'm too old to live in a dorm. So, yeah, so I think just like even just adding that to our, like the non-trad page on the South Dakota Mines website is like, cause I didn't even find out until I visited the campus that I didn't have to live in a dorm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for Colorado Mines, excuse me, but South Dakota BOR has that same policy, so it sounds like it's a marketing issue.
Yeah.
We might be doing it better than the other schools.
Okay.
Same at DSU, USD, if you're 2 years past your high school graduation date,
Yeah.
you would be exempt, but you shouldn't have to dig and dig in the website to find
Yeah,
that, so.
it's really hard to find it. Even like I said on our website, I think it should just be on like when you go to non-trad students page, it should just be there.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to clarify for the group.
Yeah, most websites it took like digging to even find like the sentence or something like that. And report.
Any questions for Senator Cantz? Senator Rose?
I guess essentially, were you, you said you were looking into like emailing somebody about that then, or seeing if that could
Wait,
be
what was
changed?
that?
You said you were looking into like talking to somebody about that then?
Oh, just
Okay.
like talking to marketing and
Yeah.
like, ask them to like add something to the
Okay.
website.
Cool. Yeah, that's.
Any other questions for Senator Cantz? Seeing none, moving on to the committee reports, starting with Constitution.
We have constitutions to review tomorrow. We have a meeting at, it's a quiz. What time is it?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. I had forgotten that summer, so 10 a.m. We have 3 that we're gonna go over. One already looks good, but yeah, that's all.
I also realized I actually skipped over CFO, VP, and President reports, so we'll finish up committee and come back to it. My apologies on that. Any questions for Senator Kissinger? All right, seeing none, moving on to PR.
Alright, so Paint the Town is this Sunday for homecoming. For those of you who don't know, we just go downtown and paint the window of business, like with the theme of homecoming. We're painting Bashful Bison Deli at 2 p.m. Does anyone want to volunteer to help with that? Sunday at 2.
Yeah, I got a question.
Sir.
What time, what day and what time?
Sunday at 2, 2 to 4. Cool, thank you. And then I sent out a form for Summoner of the Week, so we've already got a lot of responses, so we'll start posting those on Instagram. If you haven't filled it out, start filling it out. And then we're gonna set up a Rocker Central page soon, so you'll get an invite to join that. And yeah, that's all I have in the report.
Any questions for Senator Ellis? Seeing none, moving on to government relations.
Petitions were due today. I haven't checked yet to say we got 5, but we had at least 3. We need 5 questions. Oh, 7. Yay. Okay, so that's exciting. If you haven't signed up to sit at one of the tables next Wednesday, please do. It's only like 40 people that signed up, and we need a lot of help. So please do that. I think that's all I have. And
Senator Ruff?
When are freshmen allowed to start posting about vote for me stuff, like campaigning, I guess? They can
But
start
like,
doing
if
it
you
now.
guys could just get, those petitions, whoever's in office to us tomorrow, we'll go through real quick and make sure everybody's on there, and then I would just let them know that they can start getting their posters created.
Okay, because I had somebody come in like 30 minutes ago and ask,
Yeah.
so I was like, yeah.
And then they
you
just
should
need to
talk
kind of get them approved, so
Yeah.
as long as they're, have everything that's required of a poster,
Okay.
then we'll approve it.
I don't know if they all sent bios in, because some of them I don't think read close enough at the top, so maybe putting out an email about, hey, send your bios. And,
we'll see if we have time. I have to go on it tomorrow.
gotcha. Senator Ellis?
Where do we sign up to like?
Oh,
send
the
people?
sign up should be in the Teams, in the current meeting folder.
Any other questions? Seeing none, moving on to student affairs.
Currently nothing really to report this week. We're gonna finalize some dates, next week for like an open forum, but currently nothing right now to report.
Okay. Any questions for Senator Call? See none. Campus and ad hoc committees? Senator Ruff?
So as far as rebranding goes, I'm going to send out a win is good. However, I need to know who actually is interested again, because the last time we talked was last semester, so obviously plans change. So currently I have Senator Kantz, Senator Ellis, Senator Espinay, Fernandez, Hewitt, Jurgens, Lewis, and then me and CFO Keyson. If you're not interested anymore, that's fine. You can just talk to me. If anybody else is interested, if you want to let me know, just raise your hand. That's fine too. Okay. If you're not interested anymore, and I just said your name, just let me know. Otherwise, I will send out a when is good to talk about kind of what we need to do, and then go over how much work it's going to be. We won't need that many people, so don't feel bad if you say you're not available anymore. End report.
Questions for Senator Rust? Any other campus or ad hoc committees?
I saw my when is good. Gonna reach out to you and ask people in safety and security and figure out what our plans were. So I have those, and then probably meet with campus security, kind of see where we're sitting this semester so far, on statistics and stuff like that.
Two other points of contact, maybe adding to that would be Jason Erickson of IT. He's kind of handling the whole camera ordering and all of that. Any questions for Senator Paulson? none, moving back to CFO report.
So thank you for passing the SPS supplemental. I'll get that money transferred over. You're welcome, Sam. SOAP workshops will be the week after M Week. So if any of you are unfamiliar with SOAP workshops, they are required to apply for SOAP. So just one representative from every club has to be there, and one person can represent more than one club. We'll just have a sign-in sheet. And then, again, it'll be Tuesday and Thursday, probably after the class day. I haven't decided quite on time, but definitely after the class day, so that way we can give all the students a good chance of actually getting there versus saying they have a class. And then I will follow up with Spindle and see if I can get more information about possibly bonding a parking lot and some other finance stuff that might be beneficial to students. And that's the end of my report. Unless there's any questions.
Any questions for CFO Keelan? Seeing none, moving on to Vice President report.
Okay, well, it's good to be back, guys. Sorry I was too busy being sick last week, so I'm sure Senator Hall did a good job filling in, so thank you for that. Because I was sick, I haven't gotten a whole lot done this past week, aside from just, I guess, the reminder again to sign for office hours if you haven't, and reach out to your ad hoc committees if you haven't. Besides from that, I guess 2 upcoming things. I'll be reaching out to probably Kara or Ann Brettlinger or somebody to kind of help with a few things around campus concerning alumni. I've seen at other college campuses, they have like banners and stuff, like saying like notable alumni, they've done this, they graduated this year, blah, 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 stuff like that. And I figured that'd be kind of fun to have that on campus instead of grubby banners that people like to steal. So, it might take some incentive away from that. Other than that, Student Fed is going to be meeting this Sunday to talk about mental health things, so I should have a few things to report about that next week. So, that's the end of the report.
Any questions for Vice President Schlage? Seeing none, my report. So starting off, I guess I need to get my eyes checked because I was reading the agenda off there, completely missed these last 3 reports. So some big things. So I do want to give a thank you to Senator Witt for really pushing the sophomore center. I've had a couple of people come up and talk to me, asking about it. You still have a vacancy. None of the interested parties have emailed me yet. So haven't been able to conduct interviews. So if you guys know any sophomores that are interested in running for Senate, have them send me an email, set up an interview, and kind of get that process going so we can get a full Senate again as soon as possible. Ideally, I'd like to have it kind of done around the same time as freshman senators, so we can kind of get photos taken all in one day and don't need to make it a logistical nightmare for everyone, marketing relations, and everyone taking photos. So meeting this Sunday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time with Student Fed. That's where we're really going over the mental health strategic planning kind of framework, giving our reports for how our institutions are. I need to go meet up with Dwayne Kavanaugh again because I lost my notes from my meeting with him this summer. And just kind of get that report generated for them. Meeting with Sodexo, along with Corey will be there. Well, correct. Corey, Vice President Spindle, Heather Forney, pretty sure Aaron from Airmark or Sodexo here, as well as their regional manager is going to be on that call. So I'll just kind of be expressing a lot of the concerns that have been expressed to me, as well as were expressed in the Free Speech Board through the survey that Student Affairs put out. So if anyone kind of gets any last minute comments on that from their constituents, please pass them to me before Friday. That's kind of the major things. Let's see, what else? Office hours, Sam's kind of getting that taken care of. Thank you to everyone who's already filled out your office hours. I do appreciate it. We're gonna get those posted this next week. In a report. Any questions? All right, seeing none, moving over to upcoming Senate business. So Chocolate Walk, September 22nd, from 1:30 to 2 p.m. One the sign-up sheet that got sent out, kind of in a similar vein of the tabling, if people could sign up as kind of we get their schedules figured out for that week, that Thursday, and kind of know if you can do it or not. I'd appreciate you guys get signed up so you know. I'll be signing up. I just got to figure out if there's a meeting, if I have a design meeting that morning or not. Any announcements?
So just a couple quick things, as Morgan already talked about, homecoming starts this weekend. So they've got a lot of fun things planned over the next week, so I encourage you to be involved in that as much as possible. And then just speaking of next week, the meeting is over in the Surveck Ballroom because of the conflict in here. So we will be meeting in Surveck next week.
Any other announcements? Sarah, do it.
There's 102 days till Christmas. Let's just get everything ready for that, I suppose.
Thank you. Entertaining any motions to adjourn? Senator Archer?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion here by Senator Archer, seconded by Senator Fernandez. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. All opposed, same sign.